Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the individual speakers, commentators, guests, experts, and our hosts. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the network broadcaster channel and or program's policy or the views held by this network broadcaster channel or program. The network broadcaster channel or program cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program.
Hello, everybody. It is FEM Talk Tuesday, and we have a fun and exciting show for you this evening. So let's bring in the ladies. We've got Shima She Talks.
What's up, FEM Talk?
Hey, and we have Dr. Mimi Melissa Simmons.
What's up, FEM Talk?
They both yes. Quite excited. I love the excitement.
You guys. Yes.
Let's do it. All right, Sheen, take it away.
All right. You know what? First, I think we have a FEM Talk question, don't we? Or we don't. I had to put my glasses on. Y'all know how I do. We don't have a burning question, but I do want to let you guys know that we are always interested in answering your questions and helping you out with life's trivials. Ask FEM Talk is our little conversation. And if you have a burning question or you need an opinion or you just want to just chat with us about something, send us an email at femtalktv@gmail.com. We may read your question or your situation on live TV and give you our opinion. You saw the disclaimer. It might be something you want to hear. It might not be something you want to hear. But we will talk about it because we do enjoy talking with you guys. So we don't have one today, but today's show is all about what's going on. Yes, and yes, and yes. All the hot topics you can get your hands on. And there's been quite a few, hasn't it been, ladies?
Girl.
Yes, there has.
There's been some going on. I tell you. One had me standing up.
Oh my God. Standing up, shaking your head, holding your head. It's a lot.
One had me scratching my head. I said, this gotta be a fake or something. I mean, somebody came running out the room, something didn't happen. I said, what?
One after the other. I always read the news on my phone, so it's like ding, 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 ding.
Well, a lot of it I miss, and then I hear the conversations, and I got to go back and look at it, and I'm like, what? How did I miss that? I saw the news, or maybe the news was on, and the news was watching me. I don't know. But you know what? We really want to start the show off with. Now, this one, I got to be honest. I did not hear nor see. So I just saw it today, FEM Talk. I just saw it just a few minutes ago backstage when we were preparing for the show. So I'm going to let y'all listen to it and see what y'all think. I'm not even.
With broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does
They had done a close up of people's facial expressions.
as she was singing, because I was waiting to see her face, because I was like, who is that? And what is she doing? Just to give y'all some background, Fem Talkers, that was Ingrid Andress. She's a country music star. I found out a 4-time Grammy nominated.
Grammy nominated. That don't, obviously that don't mean nothing. Now, mind you,
not in this situation, does it?
It don't mean nothing
Right.
today. Now, mind you, Lamont and I'm a sports fanatic. We a sports family, so we were locked in because it was the home run derby. That's my favorite because it's a baseball all-star weekend, so all-star week. So when she started singing, I said, "Oh, maybe that's how she," because sometimes country singers have this twang to them. So when it first started out, I was like, "Well, maybe that's the twang in her country singing." But then she hit a couple, and me and him looked at each other like, this is a joke. And I said, don't they test these people before they ask this thing? Millions of people are watching this thing. They auditioning these people.
I had to ask
before you go up on stage.
Did they just pull out the audience?
I said, what? I mean, but okay, she has come out that she was drunk through the whole thing. So she made a public statement. She, put on in social media that she's drunk and heading to a rehab facility.
Yeah.
But even her post was like, I heard it was fun. That's how she ended, like the rehab facility. She said she heard it was fun. So I was like, okay, she's trying to get away with embarrassing the country.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, look, I'm one thing I am I am patriotic. I love my country. I understand who my country is. One of my favorite songs of all time is the Star Spangled Banner. So anytime somebody's singing that, I'm stopping, I'm listening, I'm feeling the song. So that to me was an embarrassment to the country, to who what the country represents. When you are asked to sing the national anthem, it is a honor. Mm-hmm. If y'all saw Fantasia sing the national anthem, for the 4th of July, she was on the Capitol steps. She had on all white. She was gorgeous, and with the honor and the reverence she brought to that song, that's the national anthem. That is an embarrassment. Her family should be embarrassed for her.
Somebody should have been waving her to come back. Come off the field.
They should have muted her.
Know who her publicist is, right, to allow her to make a statement like that, because that doesn't make you look better. It's just an excuse, right, for why you did so bad or for why you got on stage inebriated, right? It
wasn't alone though. You're not alone. So the person who was with you, whether it's publicist, your manager, or even friends or family, they didn't realize that something was wrong and didn't say to you, well, maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah,
you're right. Somebody saw her, knew she was drunk, and allowed her to get up there. Like
that was beyond drunk.
Said, you could play. No, I think it was Lamont. He says she could have said I can't do it. They could play. They have the national anthem recorded, so they could play the instrumental version or whatever they wanted to.
Right.
Unfortunately, I think she has overtook Carl Lewis as the worst. To sing the national anthem publicly. I just shared with my co-host the singing. You heard Carl Lewis sing the national anthem.
I don't think she took over for him though. I think she was horrible, right? But he is definitely
absolutely
right. If y'all want a good chuckle, go on YouTube and Google Carl Lewis National Anthem. I'm telling you, you'll be laughing all night long.
Listen, even in her inebriation, she still knew the words and she still kept going. So she definitely beat him. Carl Lewis is still.
Please listen to his own excerpts that say,
That's the best.
And please listen to the very beginning where he says, are you ready?
Are you ready?
That's the part you pay attention to, because I don't think he was, and he gave it to us.
After the long in the beginning.
Absolutely.
I tell you,
that was a horrible mess. Oh my God. So many good hot topics. Let's just move on to the next one because there's nothing you can do for Ingrid right now. Just go on and get help, baby.
Poor Ingrid, that's her name, Ingrid.
Ingrid
Ingrid
Andress. Yes,
Andress.
I'm going.
Oh,
Ingrid
Ingrid.
Andress.
That's right. Poor
That's
Ingrid.
right.
Yes. We
Right.
hope you do get help, Ingrid. Go
Right.
get your help
And
and
maybe
hopefully
you
you will
come
come
back
back
and
to
sing
redeem
again.
yourself.
Yes. Not soon.
Not soon.
This is my opinion, not the opinion of this. No, sir. I'm not gonna do the disclaimer again. What you guys think about Mr. Alec Baldwin and the fact that the criminal case has been dismissed? I'm gonna do this.
Honestly, dismiss. I watched it, been following it from the beginning. I think that's the right thing. I think they wanted to find somebody responsible.
Right.
I mean, in the I remember when he got on, when it first happened, and you saw them recording. They was filming it, and I think it was by that time it was the news reporters, and he was distraught. He was distraught, and I know when somebody is killed or dies, especially if it's by the hand of someone else, you want justice.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's what they were seeking. And the criminal cases, that got dismissed. But civil, I'm sure him and his company is going to have to pay for it.
Somebody's not. But why not? I mean, not saying
Yeah,
why not.
rightfully so. Rightfully so. I mean,
yeah,
there was mishandling of that whole situation.
right.
They still need to figure out. They still haven't pretty much said what happened.
Yeah.
And how and who brought the ammunition to the set so that it did. So because that's the first problem, that the ammunition was brought to the set, and they have their beliefs on how that happened. But I don't think he was criminally liable for what happened. So
Yeah.
civilly, yes. Criminally, no. So I'm happy that the emotions of the case didn't take over, and he was
Right.
and it was let go or whatever.
Yeah.
I agree. They're always gonna have like questions, because everybody wants an answer. They want somebody accountable, but they also want to know how and why. I think one of the biggest ones for me is, why was there a live bullet at all? Why would there ever be?
Well, that was to
And that
Melissa's point,
almost
right?
makes me feel like,
Who brought
it
the
almost
ammunition?
makes me feel like it was planned
Mm.
or planted,
Mm.
because
Well,
it should never be.
that was the speculation that it, like, somebody unknowingly bought the ammunition
A
to
real
the
bullet.
set. And they were speculating as to why and stuff. I don't think any of us heard or it came out publicly what actually did happen. But I'm sure they're going to look. I don't think that's over. And I think that's going to be one of the things they bring in the civil case to to do what they need to do. But I think and I just saw, hi mom. Mom said he is innocent. He didn't do it. Yes,
Right.
it was him that was holding the gun, but that was part of that was the movie.
Yeah.
So
You
when
think about how many hands these things go
Exactly.
through, right?
Exactly.
Before it even gets to the actors and actresses.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm interested to see like what the
Just that
investigation
part. I
is,
mean,
in terms of who actually is really responsible, because that's something that they need to get to the bottom.
need to get to the bottom, because that's somebody's daughter, that's somebody's friend, that's somebody's friend and sister, she's a family member, and when you lose anybody to the hands of even a mistake,
right.
want answers. I think that the families want answers still. So I hope they get to the bottom of this, but I'm glad that rightfully so, they did not go on with the case. So,
I agree.
Well, not to speak of, those who have gone on, we did lose a few people this week. And we want to make mention to those people. First of all, I didn't know half of them. I heard about Shannon Doherty when I got home from vacation Sunday, and she fought a long fight with cancer, several battles with cancer. Shannon Doherty, if nobody knows or if you don't know or watch the show, she's from 90210 and she's from Charmed, the dark haired damsel. Really, really, I guess I feel some kind of way because I was a fan of both shows, and I was just a fan of her and her feistiness. And as she got sick, her fight just became, oh my gosh, she said she didn't care what she had to do. She was going to fight cancer. She was going to keep producing and writing and working. So
and she really did fight to the end. And
he did.
I'm also a fan of Shannon Doherty, and when she got cancer the first time, just how open she was about it, and how she just encouraged other people. And most recently, I think Good Morning America, would always cover her. In this spring, she was on. They had her, I believe, either the end of this winter, beginning of the spring, they had her on, with an update, and she pretty much spoke the same thing. I'm still fighting. Every day I have life, I'm going to fight it. And I just read in social media that she was going through a unfortunate divorce with her husband.
Right.
And the day before she passed away, she released the divorce papers and said enough. Like she just kind of, enough is enough. And ended the fight, and I think that just speaks to who she is.
Right.
Not because now the estate would have had to take over. But what's the fight about now? And I think at the end obviously she knew it was at the end. And I think to take that measure to say, to release her husband and say, enough is enough. Let's just end it.
Why have the battle after
Why have the battle? And I think that just speaks of who she always was. Like you said, that feisty. She played her role well, or 90210. And I mean, and that was the beginning of, I think, that LA scene. They were groundbreaking. That the Brad, in Beverly Hills. That was the scene. I think that it was that thought that the Kardashians really came out of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
These bad kids, these privileged, highfalutin kids. It just lives life vicariously, and they just, I think they brought us a new genre of TV, and it started this whole kind of almost reality thing because of who they were, right? So it's sad that she's gone, but I think she's left a legacy, and
absolutely
glad that her and all of the 90210 all her castmates are just making beautiful posts on social media about her, and rightfully so. And I know they've gotten together while she was sick, and she was still close to so many of them. So we're gonna miss her. We're gonna miss her.
That was the 80s. That was the 80s Friends, if you had to put it in perspective.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what
absolutely.
That was.
Yeah, and there was so much there. I like that you compared it to reality TV, right? Because there was so much there. They fought and then they came back and they loved on each other, right? Very much like you see on like the Housewives of today.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they definitely did give us, something different, and it allowed us to see, right? Like, I know that I could say this, right? I hadn't been to California back then in 1980. I would say I hadn't been to California. I went thereafter, but I didn't know about California, and it made me want to go. It made me want to see, like, what that area is all about, and Beverly Hills, and how people live out there, and have been back so many times now since then. But yeah, they just gave us, some insight into that side of the country.
Yeah.
And it was, what was so great about that, her role, and of course, Brandon's role and their family, they were Midwesterners, and they just came from these humble beginnings, and now they live in LA with these people with all this money.
Yeah.
And the first one, I guess, first season and maybe the second season, they were getting acclimated, and then bam, they were all in.
They were all
And then
in.
they got you all wrapped up in that part, and now they had to roll it back because now I'm all in and I don't think I like it, or my
You're
parents
right.
don't like it, or I'm in
Right.
trouble.
Now we're in trouble
Right.
because of
It
it.
kind of
Right.
gave you it gave you, like you said, it made you want to go there to be like, wow, is it that draw? Does it draw you in like that? Is
Yeah.
it really that affecting when you go there? So
Mhm.
yeah, it made you feel like I need to see what that's like.
Yeah. And she was very feisty early on, even in
Yeah,
her
feisty
own
anyway.
life,
Mhm.
right? Like I remember them talking about her having fights outside of, nothing major, but fights outside of the show with the cast
Mhm.
members, right? And of course, it all came back in love. So she was very
Exactly.
much like her character
She
on the show.
was
And then even on Charms, she was feisty. She was the one that had the
right.
most power. She was the one that was always ready to go and join the fight.
Always ready to fight.
Yeah.
Always ready to fight.
Her
Yeah.
life mimicked her art mimicked
Really,
her
it
life.
did. And
Yeah.
she was a fighter. She never
Yeah,
thought, she knew it wasn't the best diagnosis when she did find out the first time she had cancer. And when it came back, she was just as well, I'm gonna still fight.
that's right.
And again, kudos to her. We're gonna miss her.
Absolutely.
And that's when you see that kind of fight, I'm sure she's given other people hope and
Mhm.
and kind of inspired their fight because
Exactly.
any diagnosis for cancer is just not it's hard. And Tracy, you fought too, and it takes a lot. It takes everything you have to fight. And I'm sure she just inspired so many people to continue to fight.
Absolutely.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
We also
Yeah.
want to pay a little homage to Mr. Richard Simmons. I did
Yes.
not know the fitness guru passed away this past week. Oh my
That's what
God, who's gonna prance around in them little shorts with that curly hair for us now?
I
Now you're
know.
talking about feisty, right? This is one of my
Right.
favorites because I used to love to just watch it. His energy was everything to me,
Yes.
right? He always has so much energy, always so bubbly, always ready to just help people get healthy, right? And start movement. And so I love to watch him. I love to go back and watch old videos of Richard Simmons
Mhm.
in his leg warmers.
He was. I
And
mean,
them little
talk
shorts
about the
showing all the
90s, the
thighs.
80s. Yeah, talk about the
Right.
80s. He was typical 80s. Him and
Yeah.
Jane Fonda would inspire all
Yeah.
of us to lose weight. I'm sure I've done exercises to his videotape before, so
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
agree. But I
Yeah.
know later, I mean, more recently, if I'm not mistaken, there was a lot of controversy with him.
Yeah.
And a lot of people there was rumors that he was being held on outside of his will,
That was good.
and that people were not allowing him, whoever was his caretaker wasn't allowing him out in the public. So there's a lot of controversy recently behind,
Wow.
and people didn't even they and I think he at one point had to make an appearance, like tell people I'm okay. But still, it was kind of like quite secretive where he was, who was with him, and there was a lot of word that he was being held against his will, or he was in a mental state that people were taking advantage of him.
Wow.
So I'm hoping that was not the situation he was in, and I hope that that whatever happened, he was able to be in peace. Towards the end of his life. So, I mean, but once again, another person who gave
I
us
didn't
their
know that.
yeah. It was pretty. There was a time where they really didn't like nobody had seen him for a while. And I'm thinking it was people who were close to him, and whoever was the caretaker, they were talking about they haven't seen him and they're not allowing him out anymore, and different things like that, and looked really controversial. So I hope they clean that up, and it wasn't anything negative
Yeah.
towards
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
I hope so. Um, that we also, well, I think I'm gonna save one for last because I think it shocked me too. Both of these shocked me. I didn't know that Dr. Ruth passed this week as well. Our eldest sex guru. I mean, now who do we get old people sex information from? No, sir. Because she was a sex therapist all the way to the very end. She was still coaching couples and singles. And the crazy part is the singles were really, really rallying for her counseling and her coaching for this day and age. For the current day and age, they were still asking her major questions, and she was still working up until the day she left us.
Yeah, I think it's because she just was so open about it, right? There was nothing that she wouldn't uncover if you asked, right? Like if you remember her interviews in the past, she was never shy to talk about sex, right? It was never.
No, and she would say the words. And I think when she first started and would say the words, you'd be like, did she just say clitoris?
Right.
Or, I mean, she did not
give you the license to explore your own body.
Yeah,
have you not touched yourself?
Masturbation is a good thing, and people be like, no, the women be like this. The men say, "I told you so."
Absolutely,
I told you so.
Absolutely.
But she gave us that, like you said, she gave us the license to talk about sex.
Yeah.
God bless her. I mean, because we're so prudish. Our age, our generation, we miss so much. We were so we couldn't talk, we couldn't dress, we couldn't sing, we couldn't do anything.
Say certain things you couldn't use the right words because they sounded derogatory. You had to make it a nice word, and sometimes you just want to say it.
And she used to say, "No, we don't make words up. It's vagina."
Right.
Say the word. It's a vagina and a penis. I was like, "Yes, ma'am. Tell everybody how to say it."
You know what's funny? Like, because I remember watching her in the past, and when I had my son, like I would never say like, other words for his penis. Like, this is your penis, and I used to tell him like, this is your penis, and don't let anybody touch it. But I never tried to sugarcoat it and say that it was something else, because I'm like, he needs to know what this is, right?
The words are right.
Yeah,
we didn't grow up with the words. We grew up with it was called other things. Give her a
down
name.
There. Down there.
Not the down there.
Right. Down there. It itches down there, or it hurts down there. I fell off the bike and it hit me down there. Those type
of another person who left, she made us free. She gave us the freedom to talk about sex. So again, another legacy that we truly did need.
Absolutely.
Break out of that.
Appreciate you. We definitely appreciate you, Dr. Ruth, for freeing us.
For freeing us.
We talk about it all now. And the last one I have on my list is Mr. Joe Jellybean Bryant. And for those of you who don't know, I'm pretty sure Mimi knows this very well. This is Kobe Bryant's father.
Yeah,
basketball great. I did not know that he passed. I just learned that today.
Yeah,
I don't know a whole lot about him. Do you know anything much about him?
Obviously that's where the legacy came from. He played a lot of I believe mostly overseas.
Yeah.
And and that's how Kobe was fluent in about 3 or 4 languages. Mm-hmm. He was fluent in Italian because his father played in Italy a lot. And I think his father was that person who gave him this life that I think allowed him to just be such a hard worker, be so diligent in who he was as a player, and it was just that inspiration to push Kobe to the point where. And remember, Kobe didn't go to college. He was able to just take his talents that his father cultivated and was able to go right into the NBA. So his father was that person for him. Yeah.
On the screen right now, we have an excerpt from Vanessa Bryant. I think that's one of her social media pages, sending our condolences upon hearing the news of my father-in-law's passing. We hope things would have been different, although the times we spent together were few. He was always sweet and nice to be around. Kobe loved him very much. Our prayers go out to the family.
Yeah.
Same here. We have
Right.
that
Right.
same message for all of the people who have gone on this week. Not sure if we missed a few. This is our hot topic show, so we just wanted to highlight those that we knew about recently. What we're going to do now is take a quick break while we're in this revering mode and give you a moment to think about who's you've lost in the past week. Thank God for those who are still here, and we'll come back and see you guys in a few minutes.
And we are back.
Hello. We are back. That was our own reset coach giving us a little excerpt of her workout regimen, in case you didn't catch it. And we are having our hot topic conversation. We are talking about all the hot topics that we could think of in the past week. We just took a break, and now we're going to.
Girl, you got to talk about that one on Saturday.
The big one.
Saturday one, we got to talk about that
one. I'm dreading that one, but we got to talk about it because my goodness, on Saturday there was an assassination attempt on who? Number 45, 46, 45. And I don't want to immediately give you my opinion, so I'm going to throw this to the ladies and ask them what they think about this whole situation.
You go first, Tracy, because I don't know.
I'm going to say what it is.
Huh? Well, you guys know how I like to do on here. But anyway, I'm going to say this, right? When we first heard about it, Jordan and I discuss things that happen in the news all the time. So when we first heard about it, we're like, is this real?
Okay,
what's happening? Who set this up potentially, right? Because listen, you just never know. So we started watching the videos. We started watching the videos, right? And saw that the Secret Service took him down after a shot came, right? And then what I wanted to highlight, because I find our 45th president comical, if nothing else. And he put his arm up and he said the F-bomb, right? As if to say, you tried it, but you didn't get me. So
right.
I just wanted to put that out there because I had to really look at the video just to see. So I don't necessarily think that it was a ploy, not by the Republicans or not by his camp, because of the way he reacted to it when it happened, right? But before I saw the video, that's what I thought. But what we should do before we go into our own opinions is just to give, a little bit of what happened, right? There was a person that was killed, and the suspect was neutralized by the Secret Service. Found out later that his name was Thomas Matthew, and he was 20 years old, a 20-year-old white man. So just wanted to put that out there first before we start giving too many opinions. Just tell exactly what happened. And they're saying that the motives are still unknown from this young man. Yeah. And he was a person that was out of high school, right?
A registered Republican.
He was a registered Republican. He wasn't in the army or anything, but he was on a roof. He was on a roof.
On the roof.
He was no sharpshooter, but he certainly got close.
Well, I'm just gonna say I still think it's a ploy. I
You and a
don't.
few million people. You and a few million people. Let's
Yeah.
be honest.
And I don't put
Everybody's
it
still not
past
believing it.
people. Yeah.
No.
I don't put it past him or
Oh, no.
anybody to sacrifice these two people. And I say two because I did not know until after that there was a police officer who who was killed in this shooting because he shot more than once. Did not know that either. So after. But I do not put it beyond 45 to plot in such a way that it's okay that a 20-year-old young man is sacrificed and a officer also sacrificed in the scratching of his ear.
Yeah,
I'm
and
saying
I don't put it past him either.
no, I don't.
But I don't know. His reaction was different, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. But I definitely
He's
don't
also
put it
an
past-
actor.
And listen, it's a scandal episode.
Right. That's exactly what it looked like.
Yes.
That's exactly what it
That's
looked like. And he is an actor.
And if you saw him as he walked into the convention, this solace face, the big old bandage on the ear, and this solemn face. Solemn, you know what? You know, you're the last solemn person they have. There's just this, you know.
You've been inciting riot for years, and now
now, I mean, I am of the opinion you know, just to be honest, I don't think. I think he did. You know, there was an attempt, and right now, I'm of the opinion it wasn't a plot schemed up. I think it was this kid and you know, who wasn't stable. But I will say this: I was just listening to a post Amanda Seals put up, and they have you know, one of the women from the Republican Party is now indicating that the reason this happened is because DEI is amongst the Secret Service, and because of the diversity, equity, and inclusion laws, we now have inept people part of the Secret Service. Yes, she did. Went there and I blamed DEI, i.e., Black people, for what happened.
Wow. Well, I will say this. That it definitely has sparked a lot of attention, a lot of attention. And I wanted to put this out there too. There is a group that has been formed called America PAC by Elon Musk and some other billionaires, right? That I won't name because I don't know all of them, but I know he's the main one that you know, right? And they are donating 45, what they're saying, and I'm putting my quotes, but what they're saying is $45 million a month to campaign for Trump so that voters get out and vote for Trump. So just wanted to put that out there. So it definitely sparked a lot of attention, right? And you know, good or bad press is always press, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, take it where you can get it. That's exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like,
you know, and I think that was, you know, be honest, you know, just perfectly timed right before the Republican convention. Just saying. So, you know, so like you said, I love me, you know, I love the show Scandal. And I'm a believer that a lot of these movies and TV shows are stemming from reality anyway.
Absolutely.
So I would not put it past somebody to have cooked up this scheme to bring that sympathetic vote, to bring that, you know, attention to your point.
Absolutely.
Now everybody's screaming, you know, all this kind of stuff. And you know, let me say the politically right thing. Nobody's going around trying to kill people, okay? And we used to have, you know, elections that was just one on who went out to vote. And all of these accusations that we are now being thrown that this is this and this is that, and you know, fake this and fake that, it has created this atmosphere of it not being about the best candidate anymore, about not being about, there's been times in my life that I have voted Republican for the Republican, candidate. I'm a person that, let me see what you can do for the country, and that's how I go on my vote. I am a Democrat, but there's been moments where I say, you know what, I think this person can do better for the country. So I'm not one to say I can't. I'm not swayed by, I'm always going to do this. But when you see something that somebody who does not care for the country, who is not looking to bring the country together, who is looking to at every pass pull the country apart, and then those that follow, to say that this happened because of DEI, that that whole notion that they're not inept because they have people non-white that are part of the Secret Service. That is, those are the things that enrage me when it comes down to what is happening with this election. It's about things like that. It's not about the country. It's not about the things that the rights people are losing, about the things that people cannot afford anymore. It's about them, and just at all costs get back in, at all costs.
Right. And I think just to put this out there, and we don't have to discuss this in depth, but that President Biden's current speech, his recent speech, kind of addressed that, where he went through the issues. Now, his whole theme of his speech was about people saying that he was too old. He's too old to run. But what he did was he went through the things that he has done since he has been in office, and to say, I'm not too old, and this is why, because these are the things I've done. But he started to talk about the things that were important to the American people, and what he's done and what he will continue to do in his speech. So I think it kind of addressed what you were just talking about, Dr. I wanted to put that out there. But let's go into the Republican National Convention, because that has begun. And number 45 has chosen his running mate.
Mr. J.D. Vance. Isn't that the man who was very critical of the president at very various times in the past, saying he would never, excuse me, I'm choking because I just can't believe how the people flip. I'm sorry. That says, Mr. J.D. Vance, Trump makes people I care about afraid, immigrants, Muslims, etc. Because of this, I find him reprehensible. God wants better of us. Yet, I want to run next to him and be his second in command.
It just tells you, people will say they will. Their vote is for sale. That just, to me, that just shows you that people's morals are for sale.
Yeah.
Well,
you made a bold statement.
45 million a month. Didn't you say 45 million, Tracy? It was 45 million.
45 million for that campaign. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Somebody purchased Mr. J.D. Vance. Probably for 1 month of service. Who knows?
Yeah. And let's be clear, right? Most, and this is my opinion, but most of them are getting to their own agenda, right? Exactly. So when it meets your own agenda, then what you've said prior doesn't matter, right? Number 45 was good at that, right? We've seen him over the course of the years where he talked about running years ago, and he was a Democrat, right? So listen, they're trying to push their own agendas out there, and this is what's happening with J.D. Vance right now. So he's jumping on the ticket, right?
Absolutely. Why not? It's the opportunity. Let's be for real. That he's getting the shot at the job of a lifetime, right? He has a shot. So some people, they're to your point, Tracy, they could be, if you say the right thing, I'm on it. Right. I'm gonna talk about you, but if you're gonna offer me the seat, the second in command seat, I'm going for it.
That's right.
So I get that.
It's the Whiffam syndrome. What's in it for me?
What's in it?
What's in it for me? And that's what they're gonna fall on. And at that moment, you have to decide where your boundaries are, if you have any, or maybe you didn't have any,
and maybe you don't. Yeah. And one thing I do know, and we all know, politicians are for sale.
That's right.
And most of them, for the right price, will make a decision that you didn't see coming.
Exactly.
So, that's just the name of the game. Politics is what haven't you done for me lately, or what are you going to do for me lately?
Right.
That is just
Or what
politics.
you could put.
So, unfortunately, that's the name of the game. But one of the things I will say though, I said, and after I did not, I'm going to admit, I did not watch Biden's speech. I did not watch the debate. I had something in my spirit told me no. I'll just say it just like that. My spirit said no, and I listen to my spirit, so I'm glad. My spirit knows who I am, and he knows I don't need to sit there. And whose I am.
Right.
Because I don't
You
need to
said
sit
it right
there
both
and watch
ways.
no
Who I
nonsense.
am and whose. You said it
Whose I
right.
am.
That's right.
So I appreciate the spirit not telling me not to watch it, and I didn't. So, but I will say this: he has their ticket. They are nominated. They will, I'm sure, nominate their ticket, who has 34 convictions against him, and they are all there rallying behind him.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party needs to do the same. Cut it out. If he say he ain't too old, he ain't too old. Let the man run. And everybody support him and let it go, because to his point, he's done more for this country and for the people of this country than anybody. And he ain't touting and looking for the black jobs. He is working for the people, all the jobs. As a matter of fact, he has been quoted to say, I know what the black job is now. Vice President of the United States. Bam. That's the black job. Hello.
And to put it behind it, right? He's already proven that, right? Because he hired a black woman for that position, right? I mean, that's his running mate, not technically hired, right? But she ran with him. He won that ticket with him. He chose exactly. He chose her. So there's already a black woman in office, right? So he's proven. He's definitely proven that.
I'm glad you guys ended on that note, because one of our very last hot topics of the night, still talking about the convention, is the keynote speaker for the convention, Miss Amber Rose.
Keynote.
This is a woman who became famous from Black culture. Don't ask me what. I'm going to stop right there. Who denied her Black existence and does not identify as a Black woman.
And still don't.
Has said that clearly, right.
And still don't.
Right. Feels safe with the Republican Party. So I'm assuming that's why she chose to perform for them. But she said, these are my people and this is where I belong. I'm sorry.
I hope y'all didn't hear what I just said. Okay.
No, I didn't hear you, but you can repeat it because we've already played the disclaimer. Yeah.
I let me take it this way. When we just said it about the vice president, people will take their 15 minutes of fame anytime they can.
And do
if that's all you're looking for, they will take it. There's always a monkey in the show, and they will parade any monkey they want to. I mean, come on.
Anybody
any circus will parade any monkey, and all they're looking for the one to say, take me. And that's, Amber Rose, or she don't represent me.
She surely does not.
No. Not me. Taraji P. Henson, when she was at the BET Awards and all of that, encouraging all of us to get out and learn and educate ourselves and vote. That's who I'll listen to. I'll listen to somebody like that who really knows, who really knows what's going on. Let me listen to somebody else who really represents the culture. She ain't it. So go ahead and take her. That, and to me, it's comical because that's the best you could do. That was the best. That's sad.
Right. Yeah. Well,
but you know what? Too, I look for that. Shock value is such his way. I mean,
listen, the girl she's known, right? She's known. She is a social. I'm gonna put it this way: she's a social media star, right? She's well known. She's gotten notoriety from rappers, right? This is because she dated rappers, right? So listen, they're gonna get it anywhere they can get it, and because she has a following And this is what this
They
is all
won't
about. And this is what this day and age is all about. It's about the following, right? So
That's
because
it.
she has the following, of course they're going to put it, if she's willing, they're going to put her up there, right? And she's saying what they want her to say. So
Sure.
they're definitely going to put her up there. So now she, she's representing, she does represent a culture of people though. Let's be
She
clear about it.
does.
It's not us, but she does represent a culture of people, a culture of
Mhm.
young women that follow her. And I don't know. I'm gonna look up her number right now while we're talking. I want to see how many followers she has just on Instagram. I'm not gonna go too far and look at all the other
Right.
platforms.
But
But
while you're looking at that, I agree with you, Tracy, and that's the point to, and it's the, and let me say it, and he picked the right one because he's looking for the ignorant,
mm-hmm,
and it's the ignorant that's probably would listen to what she would say.
mm-hmm,
I mean, because only the ignorant would even tolerate
mm-hmm,
to listen to all of the foolishness that comes out of his mouth and some of the others that talk that foolishness.
yeah.
I think the big joke is when some of those, when the evangelical, they say, "Oh, who's this little girl, Amber Rose?" And they go look her up. Oh my God, they're gonna
Right.
be all shocked because they're gonna see who she really is and say, "Oh my gosh, oh
But
my
it's
gosh."
it's not going to matter to them, right? Look, she's got 24.3 million followers just on Instagram alone,
Right.
right? So listen,
Even
not
half
for
of that
nothing.
is
This
going to
is when
do
I
them.
always give the argument of when it comes to business, he is a smart man. And he's doing business right now because 24.3 million followers, that's all about business. That's what social
Yeah.
media is. She's got that following. She can get people out there to vote. No matter if they're ignorant or not, it's the vote that's going to count for him. So he doesn't care how ignorant she is. He's like, bring these voters out that follow you. The more ignorant, the better, so that we
better.
can get these votes
Right.
on the Republican ticket. So
You're
it's smart business. It's unethical, right? It's unethical. Most things that they do are unethical, but it is definitely smart business. And I just wanted to see that's one platform too. So just imagine if it's
And
24
my hope is
on
that
Instagram.
and my hope is that the likes does not equate in votes for that.
Right. That's right.
And it's just like, because for that case, the Kardashians could be at the Democratic convention who triple and quadruple what what she has. To that extent, I'd appreciate them not doing that because we're more intelligent than that. And I get it, and I agree with you, Tracy. It is about getting that vote out. And he is looking for that demographic. He truly is. He wants that person who's gonna listen to that voice, who doesn't even see themselves as a Black person or a person of color that represents anybody that looks like you or whatever, looks like me. And he's looking for that person to take a few of those million away. Because you're
Exactly.
right.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
It's about the tipping point.
Even
So
half is going to
so
give
I
him.
hope we do just as much to get out the opposite. And kudos to Biden to be, to take it on the chin in regards to, you didn't perform, and he knows it too well at the what's the debate the other night. However, he's gone on TV and he's doing his thing and letting people see, this is what I've done and this is why you need to keep me. And if you don't get it yet, trust me, if you think that our living and how we live now and the little freedoms we still can hold on to, if you think there is a plan in 2025 to take over this country, hear me. There is a big plan to take over this country, and that's exactly who they need in the office to take this over. This whole concept, and if you just Google it and see, there's a plan in place. So do your homework to know that if you think we have an issue today, we're going to have a bigger one in 2025 if this happens.
And that's it. Closing. That's the closing remark right there. You said it right there. So we're gonna close out the show. We love you all. Thank you for joining us for our hot topics, and we will see you all back next week right here, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.